Greetings to all our brothers and sisters across the world in different countries, in different continents, in different conditions. We hope you're taking care of yourself, your family, your friends, your neighbors, your society, your community, your civilization. So, ladies and gentlemen, what a beautiful day, what a beautiful Sunday, what a beautiful sun, coming up over here in Singapore on 12th of December. And what a rhythmic 12th of December, 12/12, and that is 2020, 12/12/2020. Wow, that's great. Rhythmic in a musical way. So on Saturday morning, early morning, it's wonderful to have all our brothers and sisters across the world with us on this particular 6th Global Education and Skills Summit 2020, Making Education Relevant. YouTube GS Motivator channel is right over here. I would request that they should, with their name, they should write where are they participating from, because it's a privilege. We are going to have the next session coming from different places. Okay. First of all, let me have, we have got Professor Dr. K. Maran. He is the professor and director, Sai Ram Institute of Management Studies and Sri Sai Ram Engineering College. So when I talk about these two, it's very important to understand here, because engineering and management both play a very important role for all of us. So it's great. We extend a very hearty welcome to Professor Dr. K. Maran. We have also been joined by Dr. Saurabh Mittal. He has also joined over here, who is the area chairperson IT, GL Bajaj Institute of Management and Research from the Noida. We extend a very hearty welcome to him as well.
Thank you very much.
We have got Dr. Manisha Pathak. Yes, Dr. Manisha Pathak. He is the Director Academics, Parul University, Vadodara, that is in Gujarat. So it's a pleasure to have her with us. Then we have got Dr. Rupesh Vasani. Dr. Rupesh Vasani. He is a principal, SAL Education Campus, Ahmedabad, Gujarat. Hearty welcome to you. Pleasure to have you with us. And Dr. Gundalapudi Kalyaniji. He is joining us from NA Besant Women Degree College, Hyderabad, Telangana. So we extend a very hearty welcome to all of them. Now, before I start the session, I would request we give you 2 to 3 minutes, each one of you, to please inform your faculty, inform your teacher, inform your students, reach out through your network. We want a very active participation. We don't want a dry webinar like people are conducting. I don't believe in that. We will give sufficient time to everybody. You all can put your point and perspective across, but we want a very active participation from your faculty and your students. For that matter, kindly just text on your own WhatsApps that your principal, your teachers and your faculty members and your students, they should come live on the chat box of YouTube, GS Motivator. We want an active participation, and we will have a reward this afternoon. Let's have some reward, because this session is going to be before lunch. There has to be a reward, because nothing is free in this world. If Brahma has also sent across to us, Brahma expects that every day we go in the morning to the temple and we bow our head right before him, and we tell God, we are so grateful to you, thankful to you. You have sent us to this universe. Give me one more day to live. So every day we have to go. So nothing is free in this world. So this session is also not free of cost. Any college, any institution which will bring maximum participation in this particular session will get 5,000 rupees cash award from this session. And that will go to the student and faculty, not to the directors and principals. You will watch, and your teachers and your students should enjoy. We want maximum participation coming across, because there is no fun if there is no audience. Even if you bring Amitabh Bachchan in any session, and if there is nobody in the audience, then you don't enjoy that particular session. You got to have active participation in session. Okay. Please do write your institutions also, so that we should know that you are joining from where. Whether you're coming from Noida, Uttar Pradesh, you're coming from Chennai, you're coming from Vadodara, you're coming from Ahmedabad, or you're coming from Telangana. We would like to have everybody. Binder Mastri ji, good afternoon to you also. You have put, but kindly put it over there. Where are you from? Because that would be a pleasure. We would like to have active participation, because so many Zooms are going on, so many Microsoft channels and so many Cisco channels and so many Google channels are going on, and so many deliberations are going on. We need ultimately, who is the beneficiary, who is going to enjoy the session, who is going to be benefited from that. That is something very important. Session should not be conducted. So we send our warm greetings to everyone in India from Singapore. We are very happy and great pleasure to have all of you together on this platform. And let me introduce, it's a new education policy. When we talk about new education policy, that means the new education policy 2020 of India, which has been given on 29th of July in India at 4 p.m. by the Honorable Prime Minister and the Education Minister. So our greetings and regards to everybody in India. Wonderful, it's a pleasure. Now there are 4 key points which are going to be the new education policy to make India's youth future ready. Great. I wish to share world across everybody. There are 37 sector skill councils in India. We all should know. There is a separate ministry in India which is named as Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, Government of India. We are dealing with the NSDC. We are dealing with all the sector skill councils. We are dealing with the ministry. We have already done the programs with the Health Sector Skill Council. Then we came to the Wellness Sector Skill Council. Then we came to Entrepreneurship Sector Skill Council. And now we are with the Media Entertainment Sector Skill Council. Great. Now, moving ahead, there are 4 areas. How to integrate technology. I think it is already integrated in a beautiful way, but some innovative pedagogies we will talk this afternoon, what all is going to be there. Scope and sequence of digital content. Scope and sequence, both are very important. What is the scope of the digital content? And then what is the sequence of digital content? Then comes hands-on learning. Yes. Now, last session we heard, let us not talk about teaching, let's talk only about learning. That is something very important. Education is now becoming learning-centric. Everything is learning-centric. And the last is scope of online certification. Online certification. Talking about it, very important. We have to understand over here what is the scope of online. That is how we can basically, collaborate with each other, whether intra or inter or regional or national or international. And abroad, as we are dealing with the non-resident Indians, as we are dealing with our chamber is directly in touch with good about 12,000 educators world over. Those are professors, those are associate professors, lecturers, and they're dealing into different fraternity across. When you talk about different continents, in all continents, the people are, those are teaching, we are in touch with them. And every evening, we get you wonderful deliberations with the non-resident Indian. Today is Saturday. In India, when it will be 8 p.m., you can have a live session with the non-resident Indians from abroad today also. That is at 8 p.m. Today, we are in the Middle East. Tomorrow, Sunday evening, we are taking you to the United States. Modi ji, when he had come to Houston, and that is the Howdy Modi session which was taken place. So the professor who were involved in all the arrangements over there. Tomorrow evening, you will have live from Houston, Texas, 8 p.m. straightway coming live on the session. With these words, ladies and gentlemen, I would request Dr. Saurabh Mittal to moderate this particular session, to take on the floor and work out. And I would like to listen. I would like to enjoy the session. But in between, I'll keep coming if I do not find active participation from audience on the YouTube channel, because world over, 152 advisors and presidents of education from the different countries on my WhatsApp group. They are with me and they are watching this particular program, what's happening in India and what exactly is done for the youth and how we are proceeding. With these words, welcome to all of you, and I request Mr. Saurabh Mittal to kindly take on this session forward.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Gulshan Sharma, for providing this platform to all of us to deliberate upon this very pertinent issue and a very, very important matter for Indian citizens, that we, as a nation, we have a new education policy in place after a big gap of around 36 years. So the world has changed. We have been using internet for the last 20 years, and these 20 years, the teaching learning pedagogy in the schools, colleges, and even for the executives, working executives who are going for further certifications, that has actually seen a tremendous change. Today, everybody is talking about some special certification that might be coming from Simply Learn, Coursera, or there are so many other platforms. Even for the school level kids, we are having various platforms like your Byju's is there, then Vedantu is there, and so many other platforms are actually coming into fold. So these platforms, whether it is for the school kids or for the higher education, they are actually dependent upon technology. And in fact, we have seen many unicorns that are coming up in this ed tech domain in India. So Byju's has actually shown the path, and many other platforms are now following the integration of technology into their educational deliberations. So let us first start with our panel discussion with new education policy and how it is merging education with technology. So there are certain areas that government has actually tried to cater. For example, they are talking about the higher education institutions to set up their startup incubation centers and the technology development centers. As well as there has been one mention that the National Research Foundation will also be established. So these are the initiatives that are going to result into the research cultivation, that culture has to be developed in the higher education institutions. So the purpose of higher education institutions should not be only to impart the knowledge, but it should be to create the knowledge also. So this kind of initiative that will be actually supported with technology also. Next, if I say about the administration of education also, the creation of academic bank of credit, that will be digital platform in which the student, as they progress in their academic journey, they can earn the credits, and over a period of time, they can actually apply for certifications and the degrees to be awarded by the higher education institutions. So government is actually focusing upon utilizing the technology so that they can ensure efficiency and transparency of the regulatory bodies also. Starting with the State School Standards Authority, Higher Education Commission of India, as well as so many other major councils and bodies which are existing. So this initiative that I could see that can actually bring major transformations. It can make this education world more digitally enabled. So this can actually transform the overall landscape of higher education in India. I would like to invite Dr. K. Maran to actually start with his deliberation.
Okay. Thank you very much. Very good afternoon, one and all present here. My fellow colleague, the panel moderator, the organizer, I think today, during this pandemic period, or even the earlier period, or the post-pandemic period, every individual must think about themselves, he himself. So the thinking is something different for our growth, for our development. So in this aspect, today, the Government of India, Ministry of Higher Education, Honorable Prime Minister, introduced the National Education Policy 2020. The major agenda of the National Education Policy, the gross enrollment ratio, which is increased to 50% by 2035. Now the gross enrollment ratio in higher education is only 29%, for which the policy, the regulations and mechanism supporting for the performance of youth and also future India. In what way the national education policy is supporting for our youth, for our country, for our society? So in our national education policy, especially in the area of higher education, the interdisciplinary education is one of the most powerful tool to change of my students' mind. This is one of the most important weapon to change of my students' mind. What we are doing in our higher education system, when students are doing social science, humanities, they're never bothering about the technologies. At the same time, the students pursuing technology programs, the science-oriented programs, they're totally forgotten about the social, psychology, humanities, ethicals, and so on. So for this kind of issues, the interdisciplinary educations, technology-based educations, always supporting for our student communities. That's why they introduced the interdisciplinary educations. Even the history students can do the computer system or information system. Even the artificial intelligence must understanding the social value, cultural values, ethical values. Unless otherwise, we never do anything. So the interdisciplinary educations are very, very powerful part of change of my world, change of my systems, change of my country. In addition to this, the students' design thinking, the critical thinking, problem solving skills, aptitude. So these are the very, very important criteria or tools or factors which are highly influence of my student's mind to change not only himself, others. And also he would realize about who am I, what I'm doing. So in this holistic education system, what I believe, what I trust, you must understanding about you, about your strength, about your attitude, about your ability, about your caliber, about your credentials. At the same time, you try to find out what is others' views, what is others' strength, what is in their others' mind, what is in others' mind. So this is very, very important. Even in this technology era, for the past 5 years or 7 years, I'm watching the Ministry of Higher Education, All India Council of Technical Education, and many private universities and IITs. Almost all of them focus to startup. Where you can start up, how you can start up, when you can start up. Without wake up, you cannot start up. Without wake up, you cannot start up. So for which you must understanding the impact of entrepreneurships, the role of entrepreneurs, the role of product development, the role of design thinking, the role of problem solving skills. What I'm saying, this startup, which is not only for the technical based education system, the startup not only for technical based education system, even for arts and science students or the diploma levels, the ITI levels, the social students, everyone can start their own business, for which we need to change only the student's mind. The student's mind is very, very important. Take for instance, Hong Kong or Singapore. Most of the citizens are running business. Even Singapore, there is no technology. There is no technologies. Just they borrowing technology from other countries, including the digitals and some other manufacturing or agro, anything. But they are successfully running their own business. The ultimate aim of every country is to sustain in terms of economy, in terms of per capita income, in terms of people happiness index, where you can give all these things. So the national education policy, which brings all your values in our life. So take for instance, nowadays, the startup, the government of India initiating the startup. Already the foreign universities started, almost all universities, foreign university students believe the startup or entrepreneurs, one of the best solutions in their education system. But today in Indian education system, if you are graduates, you are working only, you are eligible for the corporate as an employee. You never become an employer. But today the educational concept always insisting of my young minds how to be an entrepreneur. In what way you should be an entrepreneur? What is the impact of the entrepreneur? So for which technology is one of the major parts. Apart from the technologies, the people mindset is very, very important. We try to change the people mindset. That's what the engineering students do the sociology, psychology, management concept, ethical concept. The management students or the science students or psychology students would be able to understanding the impact of the digitals. In what way I can use the digitals or internet for my business or my personal perspectives. So this is what I'm saying. I think the holistic education, value education is also there. Then technical based education also there. Almost all technical based institutions now they have started to teaching or tell about the entrepreneurship started. For which the major things, innovations, the design thinking, the problem solving. Many engineering colleges in India and also many higher education institutions, they are motivating students how to start up their business, where to, then how, what is the innovation concept, the problem solving skills. So you need to motivate our students to take part various business model, product models, technology feasibilities, and also the market feasibilities. So these are the very, very important part. But what we are teaching for engineering students, we are teaching only the core subjects. How many marks, what is the CGP you can score? No need to bothering up your marks. You should be worried about only your mind. Mind only a matter. Mark is not a criteria. You should change of mind with the technologies. Even I would like to share one small example. The recent digital-based technologies startup, the recent startup in India, the recent startup in the world, more than 65% of the startup, which is purely based with a digital-based organization, technology-based organizations. Even the startup business people, the age group less than 35 to 25 age, all of them youth, all of them young. So there are so much of opportunities in the world. There are so much of opportunities in India. So the education system should be changed. I hope the national education policy supporting for entrepreneurs, supporting for startup, supporting for technology, supporting for the country, supporting for the community, supporting for the economy. So everything is there, holistics. So there are n number of parameters, not only in higher education, 50%. Now today, the government of Tamil Nadu, we have already reached 49% gross enrollment ratios in higher educations. Even the secondary educations, now the government of India, 2030, 100% enrollment. 2025 to 30, 100% enrollment in secondary school educations. So apart from that, they introduced the entry-exit model. The first year you are discontinued diploma, second year you are discontinued PG diploma, first year discontinued certification courses, third year if you are discontinued PG diploma courses. So in addition to this, what they are saying is, I think the infrastructure, the teachers are very, very important. Without the teachers, we can't do anything. Even you could see the Google. Nowadays, the students, what they are doing, in Tamil, Mada, Bida, Guru, Devam. But today, what they are saying is Mada, Pida, instead of Guru, Google. Google can give all these things. I believe, I trust. I also using the Google today. At the same time, the Google never teach you that value. My dear friends, Google never teach that values, culture, customs, behavior, relationship, ethicals, where you can get it only from the teachers. So the teachers' quality is very, very important in the competitive market, in the global scenario, where we are ranking in our world quality standard institutional ranking. India is what 174th rank out of various countries' institutions. 174th rank, IIT Mumbai. Then next one is 181. Even not only world ranking, even the Asia continent, Asian quality standard ranking, the Indian institutions comes under this 29th rank. National University Singapore is a first rank. The nanotechnology is second rank. The third one is Hong Kong universities. Fourth one is Chinese universities, Korean universities, Japanese universities. What we are doing is we are spending billions of dollars. The Ministry of HRD is spending billions of dollars. Where we are going, what we are doing. So we need to realize all these things. So you must understanding what is my quality of my faculty members. The quality of the faculty is very, very important. Without quality, we can't do anything. Even in terms of research, the recent survey, the China is #1 country. Last year, China is #1 country. The second one is US. Third one is Japan. So there are n number of issues. I hope the national education policy always supporting to sort out this kind of issues very short span of period. They have framed very excellent educational policy, though some of issues in that areas. But most of the component, most of the factors which are highly influenced and always supporting for our quality educations. Chances to sustaining in the world market. Sustaining the world market. Policy alone never stand our life, never lift our life. When you are implement the policy, formulating policies, how to execute the policy, the implementation level of the policies. At the same time, review your policy, review your progress or strategies, growth. So we need to grow. In what way we need to grow? Faculty, very important. The environment is very, very important. Then students also very important. Without students, we can't do anything. The students' quality is very, very important. The students' involvement very, very important. The students, what intuit they themselves, how to equip they themselves, how to shaping they themselves. The teacher's role also very important. The institution role also very important. But the student's mind is very, very important. But today, the student's mind, where they are speaking, where they are interacting, how they are interacting, the interaction level of the students between one student to other student, between the faculty and students is very, very difficult to task.
Yes.
So how to do all these things as a teacher, even the climate is not good, the environment is not good, policy is not good. If the teacher think like this, if teachers want to do something, definitely I can able to do all these things. Even the technologies or not technologies, I try to change off my students' mind. The mindset level is very, very important. Unless otherwise, we never change anything in the world with this. Thank you.
Dr. Maran, big thanks for picking up so many points which are very much relevant in today's scenario when we are actually facing the time of lockdown, especially in the education domain, because the rest of the industries are opening up and the students and faculty members are normally they are sitting in their home and they are trying to do the teaching learning process with the help of technology only. I would like to also mention that this new policy that is actually recognizing the challenges which are coming because of the artificial intelligence and how it can be actually bringing those disruptions into the teaching learning process. So what has been done, the National Educational Technology Forum has been given the task that they can identify and categorize what are the emergent technologies on the basis of how they can actually contribute, what kind of potential and estimated time frame is there for the disruption to happen. And when you rightly pointed out that the teachers have to be empowered, then definitely technology is actually coming into picture. Because what used to happen previously, that we teach in the classroom for one semester or one full year, and when the final examinations are over, only then the teacher comes to know how much the student has learned, what is the grasping power of that student, or there was any need to change my teaching pedagogy, or I need to bring some more examples into my classroom, or what is to be done. But today what is happening, because of the learning analytics that is being enabled with the help of technology, so the teachers are getting to know live what is happening in the classroom, maybe in the virtual classroom itself. So they are able to assess the performance of the students. In fact, these app-based learning platforms, they are checking the progress of the students or the candidate as they move through, how much of the time a particular candidate is spending on a particular screen. On the basis of that, they are given some additional content, right? So that kind of analytics and the disruptions are there that are actually going to change the teaching learning process in this post-COVID era also, and the near future as well. Now I would like to invite Dr. Manisha Pathak to deliberate upon her. She is the Director of Academics from Parole University. Madam, you are welcome to please deliberate.
Thank you so much, Dr. Saurabh. Warm greetings from Parole University and Vadodara, Gujarat. I would like to congratulate the organizers of this session for conceptualizing wonderful topic for today's discussion, that what are the mentions in NEP 2020 to make the future youth ready. So I must first say that we are fortunate to be in present era where we are visualizing the new policy which has come after a long time being compiled, okay, being launched, and now it is at the verge of being implemented. So we being educationists, we all are the stakeholders, and therefore we share a responsibility to see that it is being launched successfully. And therefore this discussion is really going to be very helpful to ensure all the educationists that it is implemented in its best way. NEP 2020, it shares the first and foremost thing that we need to teach the learner. We are going to teach them so much of theories and postulates, but important is we need to teach our learner how to learn. Our learners are failing how to learn. We need to teach our future learner to be critical in thinking, be innovative in thinking, out of box in thinking. So how? NEP is very much giving provision to ensure all this. It has made its way flexible in choosing subjects. It has broken the walls of the initial impartation was there, 10+2 strategy was there, and now it is 5+3+3+4. So the NEP is giving vast flexibility in choosing subjects, right? And it is emphasizing more on the, it is not emphasizing on marks based, on potential based. Students are free to choose the subjects from the hardcore subjects, pure subjects, plus the applied subjects. Now, the first and foremost point which sir had shared, that how to integrate technology. We are talking so much that we are in a digital world, right? Our Honorable Prime Minister Modi, he has also given wave to this digital era by launching the digital campaign in 2015, right? So we are using technology so much, but how to integrate it? It's a big question, million-dollar question. So I have a few suggestions. I feel that we can integrate technology first and foremost by orientation. You will find it very simple, but it's very important. We need to orient all the stakeholders, right from our teachers, may they be at any level, to the educational leaders, policymakers. Okay, they have given the policy. Now we need to orient them that what are the mentions in the policy, what we need to make it integrate the digital technology. We need to orient the teachers, and thereby we need to create awareness regarding what are the different digital platforms available. And that can be done through professional development programs. We need to thoroughly train our teachers, make them digital literate. And by making them digital literate, empowering our teachers only, we can educate well the learners at different levels. And I find the inability of the teachers to integrate the technology in their day-to-day class may be a major hurdle to make our learner future ready. Therefore, my appeal to the entire educational fraternity is that you conduct professional development program, okay, and you motivate, encourage your teachers to learn different digital gadgets, e-tools, whereby they can make the learning sessions interactive, and they can invite their learners to give an access to the vast knowledge which is there in the digital world. Our learners' favorite gadget is mobile. It is their best entertainment gadget. Now it is a challenge to the teacher how they can make it the best learning tool, right? So I feel that we can integrate technology by creating orientation, awareness among the teacher and empowering teacher. When we empower teacher, they will give the right knowledge at the right time to our learner. So NEP says that there should be periodic professional development programs for the teachers, not only for the teachers, for also educational leaders, because for integrating technology, we will need technological infrastructure. So the educational leaders should ensure that there is quality digital infrastructure, high speed internet access 24/7, good gadgets. Okay, teachers are made available with the latest configuration gadgets and they are taught how to use this. Because if these basic things are not done, we cannot, I'm thinking about the students who are in the remote areas. They also need to be connected and their weapons, their connector are our teachers. So this digital literacy is the most important thing. Another thing that was mentioned that we should discuss about is what is the scope and sequence. Sir was telling that what is the scope and sequence of digital content. So digital content, we can say any content that is developed using technology is a digital content, right? So there is a vast library of this digital content online also. But as a wise educator, they should see that is it really worth sharing with that? So NEP says that the digital content can be exercised at the school level through the platform of Diksha. Our government has launched the platform of Diksha. Okay, it is a digital infrastructure sharing platform and it is specially for the school students. So all the syllabus, allied, all the information is compiled in this Diksha platform, and there is an app which our teachers can download the app and they can, as and when they feel, they can retrieve information and they can share with the students. So what is required is we need to orient our teachers and make them aware that such platforms are there. We need to teach them that how they can use these platforms and make best use of that to connect the students with the available digital knowledge source. Likewise, for higher education also, there are this content platforms like Swayam. Okay, for higher education. So the teachers can make their own e-content. In our Parul University, I must say, I'm really proud to share that our teachers are making their own e-content. They're developing for entire syllabus, their e-content they are developing and they are launching it. So if it is a very good e-content, we can launch on the platforms of Diksha or Swayam and thereby we can reach a wider student fraternity. Right? So this is what we have to do, that in the best possible way, explaining it, integrating the digital animations, videos. Okay. We are also conducting experiments on this. Pandemic has not stopped us from doing anything, conducting experiments also. So we need, if we are orienting and empowering teachers with this, we can share the digital content also with the learners.
Thank you, ma'am.
Next important point that we need to focus is on hands-on learning. I would like to share a famous quote by Sir Confucius. He said that if I see, I forget. If I hear, I remember. And if I do, I understand. It's a wonder of doing. So even if we are virtually meeting the student these days, or we may meet face to face, we need to inculcate this value of understanding among learners. How? By exposing them to such learning experiences which help them to understand, do and understand the moment they perform, right? So for that, our teacher needs to plan and think beforehand. And for that, we need to empower our teacher. So I feel that hands-on learning can be done by giving them experiential learning, okay? By giving them constructivistic learning experiences, where we are a facilitator. The teachers, the educators, the knowledge makers are the facilitators. And the learners are students by themselves. This learning, it will sustain till life. So I feel hands-on learning can be done by developing more and more experiential learning experiences. And this cannot happen suddenly. It needs to be planned. It needs to be trained and it needs to be sequentially introduced in the class. And the last point that was for the discussion was scope of online certification. We are in the era of digital learning where we are blessed to have ample number of online certification programs. There is a well-known saying in our Gujarati. It is said that je bhane te bhanave. That means one who learns only can teach. So we cannot say I'm a professor, I am a PhD holder, I am having a number of degrees, I can walk in the class and deliver. No, we as educationists are shouldering terrible responsibility, tremendous responsibility, because we are shaping the future youth, the global citizens that we are having to nurture and generate, right? NEP says that we need to have global education, global citizens. And to generate global citizens, my appeal to dear teacher fraternity, please keep learning, lifelong learning. That is what NEP tells very strongly. And that is possible by this online certification, right? MOOC, massive open online courses. There are vast numbers, sir rightly said in beginning, that there are massive open online courses and number of courses, certification programs are there. What we require to do is we need to orient our teachers. We need to time and again periodically emphasize that they need to do it. Something with compulsion comes, then they enjoy and it becomes natural, right? Maybe with students or teacher. So online certification, its impact is immense. We need to do it. We need to motivate the students and learners to do that. In our Parul University, our students, along with regular learning, they are doing successfully online courses through NPTEL, where so many technological programs are there, where they can get certification. Through Swayam also they are doing, Coursera, and numbers of there are there. So there the learner can learn at their pace, at their ease, at their time, and can get add-on knowledge. Moreover, they can refer this knowledge, this source of knowledge as many as time they want. So it is really a boon in present era, online certification, along with face-to-face or virtual learning. So I feel that NEP has vast scope, and we as stakeholders in our own capacity should do all our best to ensure that it is implemented in the right way, because its impact will go on the society, and we are going to nurture the citizens who are going to impact the society. So my appeal to everyone that we may understand it well and do all our best to implement it to its very best.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for sharing your wonderful thoughts and stressing upon the need for empowering the teachers, giving them special motivation and providing them the facilities, providing them the training, as well as you discussed about the digital infrastructure. I would like to mention that in new education policy, there has been a major thrust that has been given on digital infrastructure and the development of online teaching platforms and tools also. So this particular policy also talks about development of those virtual labs and digital repositories where you can have the education material and the students can access to it. In fact, not only students, but the teachers can also go there and they can refer to the content that is being prepared by others. So this kind of revolutionary platforms, they are going to provide plethora of opportunities to learn. And as rightly mentioned by Dr. Maran also, that we are talking about the multidisciplinary education system where students can pick and choose the courses from different domains. So this kind of platform will provide opportunity that students will be access to different kind of quality content that has been created. Also, this particular policy talks about establishing the standards for the content generation and the technology and pedagogy for the online teaching and learning process. So major research, innovation, and the technology integration is required so that we can develop that high quality, good standard quality content, which will be utilized not only in school education, but for the higher educational institutions and the executive education also. With this, I would like to now welcome Dr. Rupesh Vasani from SAL Education Institution to please come forward and discuss.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for giving me an opportunity. It's a very rightly topic being selected for the discussions, national education policy. So the one thing for the sound education, for the betterment of the future of the student, we require a sound education. The topics it has been covered for example, in one of the school, I'd asked the student, what is the color of the sky? And Dr. Saurabh, answer is obviously everybody will say, it's a blue. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So everybody says the blue. But one of the student, school, I'm talking about the school guy, he asked me the question, okay, sir, at what time you are asking? If you are asking at the night, the color of the sky is different. If you are asking in the morning, it's a different. If you are asking in the afternoon, it's a different. So second question, it was asked by the same student, okay, sir, in which season you are asking? If you are asking in the summer, it's different. If you are asking in the monsoon, it's different. And if you are asking in the winter, it's different. So we want the education in such a way, that it gives a very, very nice and sound education student. In the morning, literally, I was very happy by listening the lecture of Dr. Marwa, and the statistical data he has given was excellent, the superb, and very, very impressive. And definitely through your platform or media, will interact or will call Dr. Marwa also. So secondly, this online everything is going on, that's fine. But have you thought of it in 2021, 22, when the actual physical offline classes start? What will be the importance of this whole? Will be able to continue this or not? The digital part or the digital campaigning given by the Honorable Prime Minister, sir, and that the benefit at present what we are taking. So seeing the future of digital campaigning, that's fine, we are taking. But what will be the importance or the impact of this virtual, what we are doing at present? Definitely we'll take the benefit of it. Say, if it's online is fine, but for virtual, this offline, and definitely will be having an attendance of your this conference or the seminar, be visiting Delhi or Bombay, whatever the place you have been selected for this. So that's the whole scenario. But I'm talking about worried about the future of 21, 22, when the actual offline starts. What will be the scenario? 2020, really, it's a very interesting year for us because as a part of being a teacher, we have been shifted from blackboard to broadband. It has been totally same what B2B in the morning. It has been mentioned by this Sharma Saab ki it's back to basics. So same way in educational or in teachers forum, we can say B2B is a blackboard to broadband. Virtual internship being already started from our side, and everything is going to the virtual. If you see the total cancellation of the students from India to abroad, the higher studies, there's a cancellation is only 5.4%. Everybody is waiting. The optic, I think how many, almost 85% is, the 15% is opted for only online. The rest, everybody has opted for the hybrid teaching. So that's fine, that integration of, no doubt we had learned a lot being a senior professor also, which we were not habitual of this type of online and everything, but we had learned a lot for the same. Same way, the digital infrastructure, it should also be, because now little bit 50% will shift to save the economic and this monetary part from the corporate sector, and this is the only way that you can save the economy as far as the corporate is concerned. So I think 50% should be the same thing. And I think so it's very nice. You can't propose it digitally to a girl. You have to be face to face. You have to interview. It's not possible to propose a girl digitally, right? So face to face again will play an important role. We should be again back to basics. That's true. A very very nice. When 2008 there was an attack at the Taj Mahal Hotel. The thing is that there were total 600 staff members. So how the technology also again play a role. 2008 during this 26/11, 600 staff members. Nobody ran from their places. So there was a big party going on, and there was a farewell of one of the CEO, and immediately the manager, floor manager came, and he told that just please go down and sleep on the floor, and there is some disturbance in the hotel, and it goes, I think, for a night or so. So that was the one part. The second part was given to the operator, telephone operator. He immediately instructed to each and every room occupied by a customer that please switch off your phone, swipe, take it your card, swipe card, and as soon as you go out, please switch your this passage lights also. So there was a continuous phone call from room operator. Everything was maintained digitally through their monitoring, through a CCTV camera and everything, right? After all this, there were 600 staff members. And after all the event was over, there was an interview taken by one of the Harvard professors. And he told that you have selected 600 staff members. Unless and until the last customer was out of the hotel, then all 600 staff members, they have evacuated through the this fire brigade men. So what was the reason that nobody has thought of himself, herself, or their family members? Only the one HR head, he has told that we had gone with the attitude of the particular member, that what we have selected. We haven't seen that credential, we haven't seen that mark sheets, we haven't seen that number, that university first or university second, though the weightage was given. But secondly, the attitude of that particular person, of that particular selected guy, that how is the attitude with the human being, how is the attitude with the principals. Nowadays, that is what you can say. If you listen to any of the guy in absence, he will narrate the name of the professor or the principal by his name only, not as a professor or a teacher or a son like that. So the attitude towards the principal, towards the teacher, the respect towards the parents, the respect towards all the senses they have covered with it, right? So multidisciplinary again plays a very vital and the great role for the selection of this. For that, the education imparted, again, it should be with all the multi-directional is a holistic approach, holistic development of the student. Secondly, same way to percolate the downstairs, again, downsteps, again, the teaching or the teacher, it should be trained very well. So professional development program, or not only the teaching, but all the ethics, all the values, it should be given, it should be taught to the particular respective teacher, so he can percolate, he can impart the same, he can teach the same to the students also. So as you have mentioned, that National Education Technology Forum, I think it's articulate new direction for research and innovation. It envisions strategic thrust areas in the domain and build intellectual and institutional capacity. These are the main functions being given given to NETF, and which gives the balance between the technical skills and the soft skill. And lastly, all the 3D and 7D, everybody has talked about the virtual this teaching, learning, and etc. Virtual labs is already there by government, is given online platform by Swayam, Diksha, the content creation, and important is the blended mode of learning. Recently, in one of the school, I'm giving the example, the topic being taught through a drama. In this virtual platform, it has been taught to a drama, giving a task to one of the student or a group of the student. Okay, after a week, you have to play this drama. And based on the drama is for example, Ramayana, for example, a Gita or a Mahabharata. So he is giving the example like this. And based on the drama performed by the students, he is explaining the each and every topic of the subjects. So it's an excellent transformation from, otherwise, say, this is the plus point. Otherwise, it won't be possible in offline classes. So the preparation of the students, otherwise, after 10:30 or 11, they're free. They do whatever they wanted. But the preparation of this blended learning course, it's a blended learning course. So it's a very, very nice example of it. And scope of this online certification, it's obviously it's a cheaper, you can go with it. But again, digitally, that's why the importance, because previously, before this COVID, the importance of the online certification or the online classes or the online course or on the online degree, it was not much more valuable. Now it has been valuable due to this COVID, but what will be after this COVID? Okay? And all the startups and everything, that's fine, as government is giving, promoting for this startups and everything. But generally what we have faced the problem that the student during their pre-final year, they start with the project. And as soon as they start with their projects, it complete in the type of a prototype model at the end of their 8th semester or the end of their final year. They don't want to wait till it goes to the market, because from prototype to the market, it would take almost 1 to 1.5 years. So they don't want to wait for it. So ultimately, they will leave their project as it is, and they will go for the either higher studies or they will go for the job. So this is a situation what we are facing at present. It generally happens. Everybody says or not, but it generally happens. Okay, this is the situation. We have been stuck up. So ultimately, but government is trying a very hard for taking this model, prototype model, to a real market, to the it's a product based, and they can start this. They can start their own business or the startup. So these are my certain views. But offline also, it's an important hybrid, offline and online. Now it's a time for this hybrid, offline and online. Right? Fine. Thanks for giving an opportunity. Very.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks a lot.
It was wonderful to learn so many ideas and get to know your perspective on experience for the students. Definitely, there are so many opportunities and challenges also. So some of the recent statistics, they are saying that India is now having more than 743 million users who are on the internet. But side by side, we also need to check that when we are talking about technology integration into higher education institution and the key focus areas for the new education policy, we need to keep in mind that the gap between the rural versus urban is actually diminishing now. The rural class is actually moving very fast towards internet adoption, but the challenge remains that the major device for the internet access for our rural users, that remains mobile phone. Also, there are some areas in the nation which are not able to have that electricity regularly available for the students. And second thing, the affordability of the digital devices, whether it is computer systems, laptops, tablets, and mobile phones, that also remains a challenge. Because the kind of learning and the kind of experience that a student can get on a laptop or desktop, that is not comparable on the smartphones, because smartphone having their own limitation of the screen size, they may not be providing that kind of experience to the students. So the digital infrastructure that needs to be in the center of government policies. So India campaign providing the Wi-Fi access to the people in all the parts of the country, that is one. The second part remains about the technology availability to the people. So the devices and the content both need to be emphasized upon. I would like to invite my fellow panelists to deliberate upon major concerns and how the government can actually move it further. Dr. Manisha Pathak, would you like to deliberate upon this?
Thank you, sir. Major concern, if we see in present era, we find our learner, our youth a bit lost. So the NEP, as it says, that we need to inculcate among our youth ethical values. We want that our youth should become ethical, rational, compassionate, and caring. This is going. So somewhere our education in past has been failed to inculcate these important values. So I feel that we need to focus on making our youth work on his self-development. He should stick to the roots and touch the sky. So these can be inculcated through the family and secondly through the educational organizations. We need to inculcate them how to keep them fit, which they are not doing. Yeah. So through flexibility, through our educational plans, through our educational experiences, if we can deviate the youth to the right track where they develop themselves and thereby they develop the attitude to contribute to the society. We want them to contribute and add to the values of the organization, of their family, and make them proud. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. So the value-based education and inculcating values is important as per you. Side by side, we should also discuss that this new education policy, which is talking about digital and technology integration into the higher education, that is not for today only. It is about the near future as well. So today we are struggling with internet speed. We might be having certain issues related to the technology availability or the websites or the platforms that need to be developed that we are talking about for knowledge sharing and the digital content availability to the people. But this new education policy is for the future as well. So maybe in the span of 2-3 years, 5 years, we will be having more platforms, more stress from the government, more push and motivation from the government might actually make the corporate more inclined toward development of the new platforms. So now I would like to invite Dr. K. Maran to speak about the need of digital infrastructure or any other suggestions that will help us in bringing technology into higher education within the framework that has been defined in new education policy. Sir, please.
Yeah, thank you. I think, of course, I'm really appreciating. I think the infrastructure is base for everything. Without infrastructures, we can't do anything. Even during this pandemic period, the consumption of internet, the bandwidth is really very great. At the same time, the government is more responsible to strengthen the infrastructure in terms of internet facilities in India. Even the recent survey, the internet facilities, the network facilities among the world, in the world, the various countries, India has got a 160 something rank because of populations and other things. So there we need to formulating very excellent policy to strengthen the quality of the internet facilities. Today we are talking about we are in metropolitan city or the urban areas. So network problem is not there. Where when you are teaching to student communities, the most of the students from rural, suburban, socially backward, economically backward, and geographical location something issues. So the internet facilities which are not support for them. So the government is more responsibilities. Even I would like to share something about artificial intelligence. So the artificial intelligence, what I mean, because contribute 30 to 40% of our government dream 5 trillion economic target. Artificial intelligence in the area of agriculture, healthcare, pharma sectors, and retail services, marketing areas. So we need to prepare our the human capability, technology availability, the human capability, and also the technology availability, the technology strength is very, very important. So the infrastructure is one of the base. Even any country, the general economical aspect, without infrastructures, we never attain anything. Where in this case of digital-based education system, we need to strengthen the technology. At the same time, the cost of technology is very, very powerful parts. The cost of technology. Take for instance, I would like to share my small experience. Sri Lanka is such a small country. When we reach there, when we are calling from Sri Lanka to India, the cost per call cost, how much, because the Indian rupees only 80 paisa. Indian rupees 80 paisa. Their cost 2 rupees something. But when we are calling from India to Sri Lanka, per call 6 rupees. Per call 6 rupees. 1 minute we are charging 6 rupees. But we are liberalized, we are in the privatizations, we are in the digital eras. What we are doing, we don't know. That's what I'm saying. The thing, still you are charging so much of money. Where is the infrastructures? What is infrastructures? So infrastructure only speak about the quality of the country. So this is the emerging area. The government should take precautionary measures to reach every citizen hand. People are using mobile. The internet facilities are very, very important. The bandwidth is very, very important. So the infrastructure is very, very important. What I'm saying, in our national education policy, the infrastructure is one of the most important project or agenda. Every educational institutions, most important agenda. Even the rural education. Today, the government of Tamil Nadu, Ministry of School Education introduced what? Even promised 7,000 government schools classroom should change into the digital classrooms. 7,000 schools, government schools. So like that, every state should change. So this is the situations. This is the problem. According to the problems, how to sort out the issues. So digital only solutions. Digital only solutions. Even the post-pandemic period, you can able to utilize this kind of infrastructure facilities for the betterment of student community. People are talking about the online education system, the Coursera, etc., etc. Even my institutions, Soiram Engineering College students. In India, the largest number of courses, largest number of students pursued from Coursera, edX, Swayam, only one institution, Soiram Engineering College. Even my MBA faculty, more than 500 courses done it during this pandemic period. We encourage always the online educations. Even before the pandemic period, our institution started Google Classrooms, online classes, virtual learning, video discussions, and so on and so. But this is the possibilities only where we try to find out. As educationalists, we try to find out education is equal to everyone. Education is reach every individual. Suppose the education is only for those who are having money, affordability people. So that is not education. So even the pandemic period, the World Health Organizations, what they predicted, in South Asia, South Asian countries, East Asian countries, more than 1 crore, I think 1 crore students, the children drop out their schools. Who are all affected? Especially the middle income based country, highly affected. Middle income country in the sense where they say, because Thailand, India. Thailand, India. I think only these two countries are highly affected. So if students, the children are not possible to get educations, where it will affect, after 10 years, 20 years, which will really create lot of problems in the society. So wherever the problems, whatever the problems, who are affected, there we need to rectify the issues. So infrastructure is one of the most powerful component to sort out this kind of issues. I hope government allocate a lot of budgets. The national education policy give all values for you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir. One more area that I could find that is providing the content in regional languages or mother tongue, that is also being provided, and there is a special mention in the new education policy also. And yes, technology is actually providing that facilities, but that we as an educational institution, we may not be able to provide the content in the language of all the students who might be coming from maybe Tamil, Telugu, Gujarati, or maybe Hindi or English or whatever language. So technology is providing you facility that student can browse the content on the websites and they can download the content as per their own language. And one more area I would like to mention here, that is about the distance learning and open learning and online certification. So for that, government has also mentioned that online courses will be introduced by the higher educational institutions, and digital repositories will be created, and the funds will be specially allocated for research work. And this choice-based and credit-based education is also being launched. Students are being provided multiple exit programs. If student is not comfortable in one particular course, they can go for the different certification. They can exit after 1 year or 2 years. They can go back with a certificate or a diploma, or they can pursue their degree. And if they continue, they can go for a research program also. That will be the 4th year of their graduation. So these are some new dimensions that are actually giving new shape to the higher education system in India. So this time I would like to invite Dr. Vasani to please comment upon these important areas of higher education.
Yeah, you are rightly mentioned that in their own language they can have it, the content and everything. And as I mentioned, that the development of the content plays a great role for the teacher. It's not like that everybody says that your salary is cut down as far as the teacher or the faculty member is concerned. But because the hard work and the preparation time during their stay at home for the online courses was much more than if they had been the physically or the offline. The teacher has content development time consuming much more and the hard work, because learning the new thing and the preparation in such a way that they should in front of the students virtually, they should present the same as if they are on the side. It's not like a brick and mortar. So put a brick, then mortar, then brick and mortar. It's not like that. So they had also played a vital role, and definitely. But again, if you see the physically, the teachers and the students especially, they miss the school, and the students also they miss the college, because the environment what they get it related to the same, though it's an online, that's true, but the physical fitness, if you see for the school children, if you see their eyes, if you see their ears, I think the problem has increased. Out of 10, almost 6 students has already started the problem for the headphone hearing and this eye problem. That's the reality. As far as the online and the distance learning course is concerned, no doubt the weightage should be given, but that should be a little bit of what you can say, your pizza base is your offline, and if you put a little bit toppings, that is your distance learning or the online courses, which will give your value to your education system, which gives some added stars to your education qualification. So obviously distance learning and online, it should be, though it should be there, but for additional knowledge is a super speciality. If you are a doctor, the MBBS is there, specialized is there, but for super speciality, what the course is being done, that should be the same through the distance learning or the online courses, or they can do it during their this job profile or during their working environment or so. That it can be, because they can't, after they're starting the earning, they can't spare the time much more. But that distance learning and the online courses, that plays a greater vital role for their promotion of their own this educational qualification also, which will be helpful in their job or their business.
Thank you very much, sir. With this, I would like to mention that the policy document that notes the existence of all those challenges, all those limitations, but definitely there is a scope that the government as well as the higher educational institutions and corporate come together to find the solutions to all those major concerns that we have discussed in this panel discussion organized by ICSI and TUI News. So I would now request Dr. Gulshan Sharma to please conclude the session.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So wonderfully being conducted. First of all, my deepest thanks and gratitude to Dr. Saurabh Mittal. It was so beautifully, all the questions which you have taken up, all the related areas. And let me compliment Professor Maran, Dr. Manisha Pathak, Dr. Rupesh Vasani, all the inputs as a humble student I have taken from all of you. Maranji, your one coining I have taken today, which I'll use from today in all my presentation. Mata Pita Guru, uske baad Mata Pita Google. What you have given, that is something fantastic. I'm going to take it. Like Dr. Rupesh Vasani ji, what he told, what is the color of the sky? That was a laughter. That was a happiness. What time you're asking me this question? Because children are very innovative. Children are very creative. And we should not underestimate their knowledge. We should not. And something else, I'll go to Dr. Manisha Pathak a little later. Dr. Rupesh Vasani, you also made a mention, something very interesting. Although it's a very touchy moment when you talked about Taj Hotel, when you talked about that attack in Mumbai, that was my course mate's son. Oh. The general manager of that hotel, Mr. Kang. If you remember Karambir Singh's Kang, he is the general manager of that particular hotel. His wife and his 2 kids, he locked them inside to save the guest and to save everybody. And his wife's body and his children's body was beyond recognition. They were so charred and they were such in a bad shape. That can only come when you give values to your children. to become a general manager of a hotel, of a Taj, and taking care of those 600 guests and responsibility, what you're talking about. In books, it is something. In practical life, it is altogether different. That's why we got to take. And when you touch that point, something interesting comes to my mind, which I wish to share with all of us. And Dr. Saurabh Mittalji, Dr. Manisha Pathak, Professor Monan, why are we not teaching our children disaster management in all schools, all colleges, all institutions? Why are we all the time completing syllabi, contents? We are worried about inspection. The cashew nuts got to be ready because tomorrow government team is coming for inspection. Tomorrow such and such government officials are coming and all. We are more worried about administrative arrangements than in actual. And Dr. Saurabh Mittal mentioned one point, and that I would like to take when I was reading. His organization is management and research. Research is very, very deep concern today overseas, abroad. We got to emphasize more on research. Research which is related to our day-to-day living. Education got to have a relevance in my day-to-day life. Education should not be theoretical. Education should not be only for marks. Education should not be only for percentage. Education should not be only getting admission in a particular institution and all. I think the new education policy 2020 will bring a lot of changes in that. That's what is the need of the hour. Otherwise, parents are pressurizing, organizations are pressurizing. And you know, we are always worried about what percentage you are getting. You will not get admission over there if you don't score into this. And good, from the STEM, you are moving to the STEAM now. When we are moving from STEM to STEAM, art is very important. Art, culture, heritage. And why don't we have music as an integral part of education? Our chamber is doing a lot of research in education. Last 8 years, we are still going to open our Pandora. We have not opened up. We will open on 15th of August 2021 when we are gifting to India music for education. Music in mathematics, music in physics, music in chemistry, music in biology, music in management, music in engineering. Everywhere there is a music. If you really want to bring the complete critical thinking, logical thinking, analytical thinking, interpersonal thinking, leadership quality, working with others, it is music. Music. You got to integrate music in our education ecosystem. I think try it out. You will see it, because I'm teaching abroad in different countries, different continents, and I know what exactly is happening. Because the best part is I'm enjoying everybody's pace, you know, the piece of the cake. And I know what exactly is happening in Seoul, what is happening in Finland, what's happening in University of Calgary, what's happening in US, what's happening in European Union, what's happening in Japan. We got to take it the best for India, whatsoever we can. Now, second part. Why don't we teach basic finance management to every child? The child is doing graduation. The child is doing everything, but they do not know how to open an account in bank. They do not know how to manage your own finances. Why don't we teach basic finance management, irrespective what subject they are learning, whether they are in arts or commerce or science? Basic finance management is very important. Then only children will understand the importance of every penny. We must teach them. Another thing. It was a mind-blowing. It was a great learning. ICSI is going to be the first organization. We are moving to Guinness Book of Records. On 31st of December, we'll be completing 500 webinars related to only 3 words: making education relevant. Making education relevant. And 10,000 stakeholders from the world are going to be the part of ICSI by the time we roll to 31st December, which we started on 25th of March. I'm just telling you, idea is everything. You got to take the idea. That is something very important, which we have got. Saurabhji, you can leave, no problem. Thank you very much, Saurabhji. It was a pleasure to have you with us.
Yes,
great to have you with us. Should you wish to say a few words about your organization, because the next part I wanted to have where 2 minutes everybody should say what is their organization, what is their college or university. Okay, we can have that right now. Dr. Saurabh Mittal, you can just say 2 minutes because world over let people
Thank you
know
very much, sir.
your institution. Yeah.
So I represent GL Bajaj Institute of Management and Research. We are having a beautiful campus in Greater Noida, UP, India. So my institution is pretty young. We are like 11, 12 years old institution. We are offering AICTE approved management program. So the focus of the program that we are actually offering, that is to make our students, the young graduates, become more and more employable, and they are fit into the requirements of the corporate world. So many of the students, after pursuing their PGDM program, they are going for the entrepreneurship ventures also. So this institution is offering the dual specialization programs to the students, starting with the marketing, HR, finance, operations, IT, and international business. The students have been successfully placed over the years, and we have a consistent track record of imparting quality education. Faculty members are engaged in bringing new concepts to the world. We have been active in the research domain. Every year, more than 30 to 40 research papers are getting published. So the faculty member is actually involved in developing the new knowledge.
Wonderful.
Institution also organizes lots of seminars, conferences, management development programs, faculty development programs, in which we have invited people from across the world. Across the world, I can say. In the last 5 months, we have organized so many business summits, and the international conference also we organized. Next in the pipeline, we are having a research conclave that will be organized in the month of February online mode. So I would like to thank International Chamber of Service Industry as well as all the partnering organizations for inviting us to be a part of the 6th Global Education and Skill Summit 2020. And I would like to thank all my fellow panelists also who have contributed well, and they have supported the ideas that I shared in this panel. Thank you very much, Dr. Gulshan Sharma, for inviting us.
Dr. Saurabh, our deep thanks to Dr. Professor Anil Sastrabudhe and Dr. Punya from the AICT, Dr. Soni, who is taking care of the North and West. We are deeply working with them very, very closely right in the AICT headquarters. They are doing a great job. Even the induction programs, which are being taken by Dr. Rajni Sharona, they are remarkable. Before you leave, can you just tell us 5 major research projects which your organization has done? Let's take it 5 outstanding research projects, because people will get a lot of good ideas world over. If you can just name 5 research projects.
So one major program that we are associated with Government of India, that is Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. So identifying Unnat Bharat Abhiyan.
Okay, Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. Okay.
Yeah, that is one major project of Government of India in which my institution has been given responsibility that we identify the needs and do the baseline survey of 5 different villages, meet with the various stakeholders and identify how the contribution can be given by the government and how we can actually uplift the people of those particular 5 villages. So that is an ongoing project. So we have started doing the baseline survey, and maybe in a couple of months, we will be submitting our report to the Government of India also. Other than that, we are one major institution which is imparting the research methodology training. Research methodology, we are training to the faculty members and researchers from Delhi NCR area and from the different parts of the country as well. So we keep on organizing various research workshops and FDP programs in which we are talking about use of SPSS or writing a good quality research papers, how to get them published in a good quality journal. So that kind of research contribution we are giving to the academics world. Also, we are working upon mobile marketing, digital marketing domain. I have myself published multiple research papers in this domain, which are published in very good quality index journals. Also, we are known for the training programs in the domain of finance. So we have organized successfully many training programs for capital investment, financial investments, accounting. So those kinds of programs are regularly being organized by my institution. as well as we have been into the skill development and training programs we have organized for various corporates. So those are the major thrust areas for my institution. So we welcome organizations from around the world. They can approach us and we can jointly organize, we can customize the programs, and we can conduct certain research projects for you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Saurabh Mittal. It was great to know, because I thought that everybody world over, those are joining on the WhatsApp groups and all that different groups, they all should know about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.
You can go for your next session.
Sure, sir.